Hallo alle zusammen, wir machen heute weiter mit Verben und Präpositionen zusammen. Wir hatten das schon gestern angefangen und jetzt geht's weiter. Hi everyone, today we're going to continue on verbs and prepositions to explain the meaning of those verbs. Yesterday we already covered 6. Do you guys remember any of them? If you do, put one in the box. Okay. Now, we are going to go over 6 more, and of course these are ones that you have also seen, but you need to be able to see them with the preposition and see how the meaning has slightly changed. I'm going to put them up for you now. Okay, so here we have all 6 of the new ones. Now really, if you notice, there's only 5 because we have sich freuen twice. What's the other thing you notice about these? So hopefully you answered that they're all reflexive verbs. Remember reflexive verbs? We're going to do a mini review in 1 second. But all of these have a sich in front of them because they're reflexive, and one of them, aufregen in particular, is also a separable prefix verb. So we have sich ärgern, sich aufregen, very similar in meaning, sich freuen, sich interessieren, and sich verlieben. What I want you guys to do right now, before I go any further, is I want you to look up what those mean and write it down over here. So write down the meaning of these before I move on. Okay, now we use these with prepositions, and the prepositions are über. That's hard to see, isn't it? Über. There we go, a little better. Über. Über. Then we have it twice for a reason. The second one is auf. Then we have für. And we have in. Now, a number of these, in fact, every single one except für, are two-way prepositions. So you have to know which case you're using with those. So we're going to use accusative case for all of these. So every single one of those uses accusative case. And für, of course, being for, is a accusative preposition, so I'll write this down for you, but I really didn't have to. It's also accusative case. Okay, so every single one of these uses accusative. Did that make it better or did that make it worse? Okay, so hopefully you already wrote down some of those meanings as I had asked you to. If not, let's go through what they mean with the prepositions. And that meaning is just expanded to. So, sich ärgern is to be annoyed. And then when you add the preposition, it's going to be with or about. So, to be annoyed with or about. I write too big, no room. Then sich aufregen is to get upset or to get worked up. So I'm going to put to get upset. And then it's going to be about. Another about, since über is there. Then we have sich freuen, which was to be happy. So sich freuen meant that you were happy or pleased with. So this is to be happy about or to be pleased with. If you have room, please add that to your notes as well. Then, jumping to number 11 really quick, sich freuen auf is when you're looking forward to something. So this implies that it's future, to look forward to. So notice, when you have these two, the meaning changes pretty dramatically based on the preposition, so you need to remember that. Then, sich interessieren für is to be interested in. And sich verlieben in is to fall in love with. Oops, I'm missing a word. To fall in love with. Now, clearly, you knew that sich verlieben is to fall in love. And clearly you knew that you needed a preposition to say who you're falling in love with. So one of the reasons we're doing this is not because it changes that meaning so dramatically, but because you need to know what prepositions go where. And I had talked to you guys about this in the past. You don't translate prepositions very well, or we don't translate them very well. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So you really have to practice these with their preposition and with their case to make sure that you understand the full meaning. Okay, now I had said we're going to look at these reflexives one more time, really, really quickly. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually use these and give you some samples, and I'm going to mix up who we're reflecting back. So what verb, what reflexive we have to use, so what subject. So, ich ärgere mich über Donald Trump. Sorry, he's even a German. It's a little scary. Ich ärgere mich über Donald Trump. So, in this case, of course, I was using mich. It is in third place, and it is reflecting that ich. So make sure that you don't forget that you also need to know those reflexive pronouns. Then, du regst dich auf, or über, let's see, what are we going to talk about? Du regst dich über die Nachrichten, the news, auf. So, my prefix, of course, as you remember, goes to the end. There's my preposition, there's my reflexive, and I'm reflecting my new subject, which is du. Then, freut sich, sich über das schöne Wetter. So, freut sich über das schöne Wetter. Now remember that sich reflects all third person. So sich, all third person. And that means both singular and plural. So anytime you're using third person, you're going to have sich. Freut sich über das schöne Wetter. He's excited about the beautiful weather. Now we're going to go to plurals. Wir interessieren uns für die Schweiz. We are interested in Switzerland. So, here's all my stuff. Here's my reflexive, reflecting back. Okay. And then another freuen. Ihr freut euch auf den Sommer. You are looking forward to summer. Don't worry, you're not the only ones. I'm doing it too. Ihr freut euch auf den Sommer. And last but not least, sie, plural of course. Mark that. Sie verlieben sich in schöne Mädchen. They fall in love with beautiful girls. So here's your reflexive. Again, third person is always the same. Reflecting back. See, plural, conjugated. Oh, I forgot to highlight my preposition. There you go. So, all of those should be pretty simple. You just have to remember which preposition to use. And since we had a lot of übers and auf, für, and an in, hopefully it won't be so hard. Okay, what I want you guys to do is you are looking at a page from the book. It's very similar to the activity we did yesterday. And we're going to solve all of these really quickly just by doing one thing or two things. You're going to add the preposition, so figure out what preposition is missing. And then once you're done with that, you're going to pick which one of these words goes at the end. Okay, so you have to figure out the preposition and then figure out the end. Now I'm going to read these to you really quick just so you know how they're pronounced. Ihren dickköpfigen Sohn. Ihre Reise nach Italien. Ihre Eins in Geschichte. Stefanie. Historische Maschinen. Toms doofen Haarschnitt. Okay, I'm going to let it run for a minute, and you guys are just going to add all of the correct answers. Okay, now that you have all of the verbs, it is just a matter of practicing them. Now there is a Quizlet with those verbs up for you. So the verbs with the preposition and the meaning, of course. Use that, make sure that you're practicing. And you guys do have a workbook activities, actually out of the spiral, and you have 2 pages. You have page 346 and 347. Both of those sections are just matching. Okay, they're just matching. So you are just going and reading a question. Look, it looks like this. And you're finding the correct answer on the other side. So they should go really, really quickly. You don't have to do very much yet. Next time, we're going to do the activity where you're actually working with those verbs and hopefully conjugating all the way. All right, that's it for today.